Mount Etna, or simply Etna, is an active stratovolcano on the east coast of Sicily, Italy, in the metropolitan city of Catania between the cities of Messina and Catania. It is located above the convergent plate margin between African plate and the Eurasian plate. It is one of the tallest active volcanoes in Europe and the tallest peak in Italy south of the Alps. Current height as of September 2024 is 11,165 feet, though this varies with summit eruptions. For instance, in 2021, the southern crater reached a height of 11,013 feet, but was then surpassed by the Voragine crater after the summer 2024 eruptions. Etna covers an area of 459 square miles with a basal circumference of 87 miles. This makes it by far the largest of the three active volcanoes in Italy, being about 2.5 times the height of the next largest, Mount Vesuvius. Only Mount Titi in the Canary Islands surpasses it in the whole of European North African region west of the Black Sea. In Greek mythology, a deadly monster typhoon was trapped underneath the mountain by Zeus, the god of the sky and the thunder, and the king of the gods was also said to be underneath it. History of volcanic eruptions. Eruptions of Etna follow multiple patterns. Most occur at the summit, where there are 5 distinct craters: the northeast crater, the Voragine, the Bocca Nuova, and the 2 on the southeast crater complex. Other eruptions occur on the flanks, which have more than 300 vents, ranging in size from small holes in the ground to a large crater hundreds of meters across. Some eruptions can be highly explosive and spectacular, but rarely threaten the inhabitants around the volcano. In contrast, flank eruptions can occur down to a few hundred meters altitude, close or even well within the inhabited areas. Numerous villages and small towns lie around or on cones of past flank eruptions. Since the year AD 1600, at least 60 flank eruptions and countless summit eruptions have occurred. Nearly these have happened since the start of the 20th century. Since 2000, Etna has had 4 flank eruptions. Summit eruptions occurred in 2006 through 2008, 2012, 2018, and then again in February 2021. Geological history follows its evolution from an early stage of submarine fissile activity, producing pillow lavas and the first shield volcano, to a subsequent mix of infusion and explosive activities building 3 main stratovolcano stages, then to the present Montebello system, which has developed into 2 successive stages from about 15,000 years ago. The volcanic activity has gradually shifted from the southeast to the northwest, from offshore to onshore. The Valle de Bove is the former eastern flank of the volcano. This collapsed about 64,000 years ago, and thus allows the older volcanic edifices to be recognized. Volcanic activity first took place in Etna about 500,000 years ago, with eruptions occurring beneath the sea off the ancient coastline of Sicily. About 300,000 years ago, volcanism began occurring to the southwest of the summit, then activity moved towards the present center 170,000 years ago. Eruptions at this time built up first major volcanic edifice, forming a stratovolcano and alternating explosive and effusion eruptions. The growth of the mountain was occasionally interrupted by major eruptions, leading to collapse of the summit to form cauldrons. 15,000 years ago, Etna experienced some highly explosive eruptions, generating large pyroclastic flows, which left extensive igneous deposits, pyroclastic flows. Ash from these eruptions has been found as far away as south of Rome's border, 497 miles to the north. Thousands of years ago, eastern flank of the mountains experienced catastrophic collapse, generating an enormous landslide in an event similar to that seen in the 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens. The landslide left a large depression in the side of the volcano known as the Valle de Bove, Valley of the Ox. Research published in 2006 suggested that this occurred around 8,000 years ago and caused a huge tsunami, which left its mark in several places in eastern Mediterranean. As Europe's most active volcano, eruptions occurred frequently, with as many as 16 eruptions taking place in 2001. However, several eruptions of note have occurred over the last century. Major eruption took place in June 1923 from the 6th to the 29th. Large lava flow from an eruption in 1928 led to the destruction of the population center for the first time since 1669. The eruption started high on Etna's northeast flank on the 2nd of November, and new eruptive fissures opened at decreasing elevations down the flank of the volcano. The third and most vigorous, these fissures opened up on 4 November at an unusually low elevation, approximately 3,930 feet. Only a church and a few surrounding buildings survived in the northern part of the village. During the last days of the eruption, the flow interrupted the Messina-Catania railway line and destroyed the train station at Mascala. The event was used by Benito Mussolini's fascist regime for propaganda purposes, which the evacuation, aid, and rebuilding operations being presented as a model of fascist planning. Mascala was rebuilt on the new site, and its church contains the Italian fiscal symbol of torch placed above the statue of Jesus Christ. In 2002-2003, the much larger eruption threw up a huge column of ash that could be seen from space and as far away as Libya, 370 miles south across the Mediterranean Sea. Seismic activity in this eruption caused the eastern flank of the volcano to slip by up to 2 meters, and many houses on the flank of the volcano experienced structural damage. The eruption also completely destroyed the tourism station Piano Provinciana on the northeastern flank of the volcano and part of the tourist station Etna Sud. Footage of the eruptions was recorded by Lucasfilm and integrated into the Landscape 2005 film Star Wars Episode II: Revenge of the Sith. An eruption on the morning of 13 May 2008 immediately to the east of Etna's summit craters, accompanied by a swarm of more than 200 earthquakes and significant deformation in the summit area. The eruption continued at a slowly diminishing rate for 417 days until 6 July 2009, making this the longest flank eruption of Etna since 1991 to 1993. Through January 2011 to February 2012, the summit craters of Etna were a site of intense activity. Frequent eruption and ash columns forced authorities to shut down the Catania airport on several occasions. On 3 December 2015, an eruption occurred which climaxed between 3:20 and 4:10 a.m. local time. The crater exhibited a lava fountain which reached 3,300 feet in height, an ash plume which reached 9,800 feet in height. The activity continued for days, with an ash plume that reached 23,000 feet in height forced Catania Airport to shut down for a few hours. On 16 March 2017 eruption, 10 people were injured from the BBC News television crew after magma exploded upon contact with snow. An eruption on 24 December 2018 following a dike intrusion at the shallow depth spewed ash into the air, forcing the closure of airspace around Mount Etna. 2 days later, a magnitude 4.9 earthquake shook the town of Filiti and surrounding towns and hamlets in the province of Catania, damaging buildings and injuring 4 people. Beginning in February 2021, Mount Etna began a series of explosive eruptions which have had an impact on the nearby villages and cities, volcanic ash and rock far away as Catania. In February 22, there were 2 eruptions. In May 2022, a sudden collapse of southeast created a fracture in its northern flank at the elevation of 9,186 feet. A small lava flow emerged and headed in the direction of the Lione Valley, just above the much larger Bovi Valley. It continued for 3 days and was accompanied by small, sporadic eruptions from 2 of the many vents at the top of this crater. Etna erupted again on 4th of July 2024, causing the Catania airport to close due to volcanic ash in the air. On August 14, 2024, Mount Etna erupted, violently sending an ash cloud 9.5 kilometers into the atmosphere. Catania airport was forced to close. Mount Etna is one of the world's most active volcanoes, and it is an almost constant state of activity. The fertile volcanic soil produced from this activity support extensive agriculture. The vineyards and orchards spread across the lower slopes of the mountain and the broad plain of Catania to the south. Due to its history and recent activity and nearby population, Mount Etna has been designated a decade volcano by the United Nations. In June 2013, it was added to the list of UNESCO World Heritage Sites. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and hit that notification icon for the latest videos as they are released. Thanks for watching and catch you in the next one. Ciao for now.